going on, guys? Thank you for watching. So I wanted to get up here and make you guys a video to talk about some vegan recipe ideas that you could do on Thanksgiving. And it's just going to be a bunch of easy type of recipes that I think even the people who aren't vegan at your Thanksgiving table will be reaching for, and kind of maybe surprise some people, and who knows, maybe you'll convince old Uncle Rick, who's always been telling you, why are you vegan, get some meat on your bones, who now will see that veganism can still be delicious, can still be beneficial to your body, can still give you all the vitamins, minerals, nutrients, healthy proteins, carbs, fats, calories that a diet that isn't vegan would give you as well. So Uncle Rick, we're coming for you this Thanksgiving, man. The first recipe I want to share with you guys is a vegan spinach dip. Now this is like an appetizer. Obviously this isn't something you probably put on your Thanksgiving table. Maybe you do, but maybe you serve this, before dinner comes out, just to get everybody full, so when they go into the dinner, everybody just overeats. And that's usually how it always goes, right? You go crazy on the finger foods before dinner, then you eat dinner, you get all stuffed up, and then you pass out on the couch before dessert, wake up, and then you just drown yourself in any type of dessert. 16 ounces of organic frozen spinach, thawed, or if you're using fresh spinach, you could use that as well. 3 cloves of garlic and or 1 teaspoon of garlic powder. Also 1/4 cup of lemon juice. Always use fresh lemon juice if you can. That's what I would recommend, because that obviously has benefits too. A lot of vitamin C, a lot of good stuff coming out of lemon juice, especially when it's fresh, not the stuff that they sell in the bottle. Then you want to soak for about 20 minutes in some salt water cashews. Now, if you want to use raw cashews, that's what I would recommend, but that's going to be a big part of this recipe. You have 1 cup of raw arugula, 2 to 3 tablespoons of nutritional yeast, which is something that I've always thrown into my soups, my salads, a healthy benefit to add to really anything, and something I've been using for a long time. There's a really good brand out there, Bragg. I would definitely go with that bottle if you can. 2 tablespoons of vegan mayo, 1 teaspoon of sea salt, 1 teaspoon black pepper, and then you sprinkle some vegan white cheese on the top of that, whatever kind of vegan cheese you want. I'm not really going to name brands, but you could find any type of brand out there for vegan cheese to go on top of that. Once you let the cashews soak in that hot salt water for about 20 minutes, it's going to get them much more tender and easier to blend. Just throw all the ingredients into the food processor, process that up. If you want to add beans into that as well, just to add to the thickness of the dip, it's fine. You could pulse the beans in as you're food processing. Just make sure when you're done with that, you throw it into some type of plate where you can have the dip ready to go, and then you can throw that into the oven for a little bit and then kind of crisp that up. The next recipe I wanted to give you guys is a vegan gravy recipe. I think this would be really cool to bring to your table, because it's going to give people the opportunity to kind of compare and contrast their gravy versus a vegan gravy, and it's really not that hard to make. It's pretty simple. Basically, you're going to be using a 1/4 cup of all-purpose flour, 1 tablespoon of vegan butter. You can use any vegan butter you want to use, 3 cups of vegetable broth, 2 tablespoons of miso paste, 2 tablespoons of warm water, 2 teaspoons of soy sauce, 1/4 teaspoon of onion powder. I would go probably half a teaspoon, maybe a full one. I love onion powder, so don't ever get shy with the onion powder. And then 1/4 teaspoon of ground black pepper. Now with these measurements, this isn't something that I think you guys really need to stick with meticulously. I mean, you could go a little bit above or below if you want, based on the flavors you like. In a saucepan, just melt all that butter, throw that flour in there, stir that up. Add the 3 cups of that vegetable broth, and then dissolve that miso paste in the warm water. Throw in the 2 teaspoons of the soy sauce, and then your onion powder and black pepper. Stir that all up until it gets nice and thick, and then you serve that warm. There is your vegan gravy. Pretty simple to make, doesn't really require a lot of ingredients. Another really simple and easy to make recipe that I want to give you guys is a balsamic roasted Brussels sprout recipe. Now, you could use any type of green for this really if you want. You want to chop up some asparagus, you want to chop up some string beans, broccoli, even cauliflower if you want to throw in there. It's all about the coating. So if you're going to be using any type of vegetable, just realize that the coating is the most important thing. All you're going to need is that vegetable, either some minced garlic or some garlic cloves, garlic powder, balsamic vinegar, and then 2 tablespoons of coconut oil, and then add as much salt and pepper to your liking as you would want. If your coconut oil is solid at room temperature, melt it while you're cutting up your vegetables. Once your vegetables are cut up, throw the 3 tablespoons or 4, whatever, to your liking of balsamic vinegar over those vegetables, and then add the coconut oil, add your salt, add your pepper, add your minced garlic or fresh garlic cloves chopped up, whatever you really want to use, garlic powder. And if you want to throw some onion powder on that too, you can. That's something I would do. Throw that onto a baking sheet, throw it into the oven at 375 degrees, and then cook until you see them have a nice golden, crispy look on the outside. Take them out, let them sit for about 3 to 5 minutes, and then they're ready to go. So that's an easy recipe that you guys could take with you as well. The next recipe I want to share with you guys is a vegan stuffing recipe that I think is probably the quickest one that I've found, that I've never done before, but I think I like the process a lot based on the other ones I've found. It's pretty simple, because I know stuffing with veganism, it's more arts and crafty, so I really wanted to keep it as simple as I could for you guys. So I found one that says it takes around 40 to 45 minutes to make. So you're gonna have 1 onion diced, 3 stalks of celery diced, 2 large carrots diced, a 1/4 teaspoon of the following: rosemary, thyme, sage, parsley, 1/2 teaspoon of salt, and then 2 cups of vegetable broth. So how you're going to be prepping this is you're going to preheat your oven to 325, 350, whatever you want to do, and then cut whatever bread you're going to be using into small pieces like you would prepare a regular stuffing. Obviously, the big part of stuffing is the bread, so pick a bread that you like. Combine that rosemary, thyme, sage, parsley, and salt in a separate bowl until you're ready to throw that on top of the stuffing before you throw it in the oven. Then chop up all those vegetables, make sure they're all ready to go. Heat up a small saucepan, throw those chopped vegetables into the saucepan, throw a little bit of that vegetable stock or broth down into the saucepan so the vegetables don't stick, and make sure that saucepan is on low to medium heat. You don't want to go too high with the heat and then burn the vegetables, because don't forget you got to throw them in the oven still. So throw all the chopped pieces of bread into a baking dish, get those vegetables in there as well, drizzle the rest of that vegetable stock or broth over the stuffing, and then add the spices, add the herbs. Throw that into the oven uncovered, 325 to 350 degrees for 20 to 30 minutes. Voila, you got yourself some vegan stuffing. You got something to bring to the table on Thanksgiving to compare to a non-vegan stuffing. And like I said, we're gonna get Uncle Rick to realize that the vegan diet isn't as bad as it's made out to be. Something else I just wanted to add in real quick that I would personally really enjoy is just a garlicky mashed potatoes vegetable dish. Now this is just straight off the top of my head. I didn't even find this recipe. Just take a bunch of potatoes, boil the potatoes, mash them all up in a bowl. You want to throw some coconut milk in there. You want to throw some type of non-dairy milk. Just not too liquidy. You want to make sure that you're keeping it nice and fluffy. Throw in your chopped vegetable, whether it's broccoli, whether it's spinach, whether it's arugula, whether you want to chop up some Swiss chard. Then the option's up to you. If you want to throw some garlic cloves in there chopped up, you want to throw some minced garlic in there, you want to just use garlic powder, mash that all up, spice it up the way you want to spice it, paprika, maybe some pepper, some type of spicy, maybe chili powder, something like that, just to give it a little bit of a kick. Throw the onion powder in there. I promise you, you will not regret that. If you want to throw some other stuff in there as well, you can. I don't know what else you guys could really throw in there, maybe vegan bacon, something like that. Throw it in the oven, pull it out, boom, you got yourself an easy, garlicky, mashed potato-y, vegetable-infused side that you could really just throw in any dish, and you'll have the non-vegans having it as well, I promise. So definitely something that I would think about making. Just wanted to throw that out there for you guys who are potato lovers. And then think about it with sweet potatoes. Use it the same way, and then just, you know, incorporate maybe sweeter tasting things into that. You have yourself some sweet mashed potatoes with whatever else you want to infuse that with. Whether you want to throw some dark chocolate in that, whether you want to throw some brown sugar in that, cinnamon. Really, there's so many different ways you can go with it, and I think it's definitely something that I would think about if I was someone who was looking for a potato dish to bring to your Thanksgiving table this Thanksgiving. The last recipe I have for you guys is pumpkin pie ice cream. Yes, it's vegan, yes, it's ice cream, and yes, we all love pumpkin pie. The ingredients: 1 cup of chopped walnuts or pecans, 2 tablespoons of brown sugar, 15 ounces of canned pumpkin, also calls for 1 pint container of a non-dairy French vanilla creamer, 1 cup of a non-dairy vanilla milk, and also 1 carton of vanilla yogurt, non-dairy, and I recommend Kite Hill as a good brand for that. Their vanilla yogurt's delicious. If you can't get all of these into the recipe, it's fine, as long as you have 2 out of the 3. I mean, it's really just going to be helping with the creaminess and the taste with that vanilla. Something that I would definitely try to get all of them in, but if you can't, don't sweat it. Then you have 1/3 cup of sunflower oil, 2 tablespoons of maple syrup or agave, either one is fine, 1 to 2 tablespoons of pumpkin pie spice. Just be careful because pumpkin pie spice is obviously really strong. And then 1/2 teaspoon of guar gum. You could find that in the flour aisle. Definitely something that you don't have to throw in there for those of you that kind of have some doubts about guar gum, but totally cool to throw in as a thickener in my opinion, especially when you're making some type of vegan ice cream. Combine all the other ingredients into a blender, get that all blended up. Throw that into the refrigerator for 2 hours. Once that ice cream base is chilled, pull it out of the refrigerator 2 hours later, whether it's overnight. Grab an ice cream maker if you don't have that. A little trick I'm going to tell you guys, the recipe does not call for this. Throw some frozen bananas into a blender with the chilled base of the pumpkin pie ice cream, and then blend that at a low speed to churn it and still give it that texture, still give it that thickness that, you know, a vegan ice cream is best at. And the garnish, the crushed up cinnamon graham crackers with the caramelized pecans or walnuts, throw that in there as well. And that's your pumpkin pie ice cream. The person that made this recipe said that they couldn't even take a picture of it the first time they made it because they ate it too fast. With that said, I wanted to wish you guys a very happy and healthy Thanksgiving, whether you are vegan, whether you're not. Enjoy your family time and be thankful for the things you have in your life that are most important. Hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, you know what to do. Just drop me a comment below. My name is Brett Cap. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll see you next time.